What's going on, Jeromes? So when Minnesota Vikings hired general manager adofo-mensah and head coach Kevin O'Connell, you're thinking, okay, here we go. Start of the new dynasty, 2022 year of our Lord, and we will start off with this amazing draft class and launchpad, a new era, a dozen Lombardies in the next 10 years, and it'll be good to go. It's like, hey, and also, this is an experiment. I mean, Kwesi coming from a more analytical background, not your traditional former scout, that guy can play, sort of GM. So it's important. It's important for Kwesi to get off to a fast start, but didn't quite work out. So first round pick Lewis Cine was waived yesterday. Cornerback Andrew Booth Jr., second round pick, who the Vikings traded up to go get, number 42, was traded to the Cowboys earlier in the month. And overall, this 2022 class. Now, we try to put a positive spin on everything. It's kind of what we do, but it's hard with this. It really is. Also, couple that with the fact that, yes, the Vikings did start off with the number 12 pick. They traded in division with the Lions, dropping back to 32, picking up a couple of second-round picks, which is great, but also, a second and a third, and also giving up their second, and also they didn't get the Lions' future first-rounder, which I don't know. And then they trade in division again, but luckily Christian Watson is ass. Thank you. But otherwise, that trade with the Packers may have stuck with them. But like we said, it's really rough. It's really rough. So Cine is gone. Now, yes, you could say that the Cine injury played a part in it too. I know a lot of people like to attach it as like, well, he couldn't learn the playbook. No, that's so insulting and stupid. No, it's just ridiculous, man. The injury, as well as that stacked safety room, is a big time part of it, man. Also, Andrew Booth Jr. couldn't stay healthy, plus was just behind the 8 ball in that cornerback room. And also, it was sort of telling, right, where last year the Vikings had depth issues at cornerback. Booth wasn't really out there. And this year, the Vikings were having injuries in training camp at cornerback, and Booth wasn't really out there. But a fresh start with the Cowboys, wishing him the best with Zimmer and company. And then you have Ed Ingram, who's just bad. All right, so Ed Ingram has been a 2-year starter, heading to year 3. He's going to start week 1 at right guard. But, I mean, they tried to replace him, bring in Dalton Risner, and it would have been a competition if Risner didn't get hurt right away in training camp, but just sort of is what it is. And the most depressing part is that Ed Ingram is your only full-time starter of this entire group. It's rough. Asamoah is a linebacker 4 right now. He's also had injury issues. Caleb Evans, I mean, we've seen some flashes in his first couple of seasons, and he's been in the lineup. He's been benched. He's been in the lineup again. But right now, he's probably cornerback 4 or 5, depending on how you see McLaughlin and Fabian Moreau. Asazio Tamuwa was waived last year. Ty Chandler is currently running back 2 with Aaron Jones, and hopefully you can get something out of him in year 3. Vidarian Lowe was traded to the Patriots last year. Jalen Naylor, finally, knocking on all the wood. Hopefully Speedy stays healthy and is that dynamic wide receiver 3 with Jefferson and Addison. But as of now, hasn't really proven anything. And Nick Muse, you like a lot, but, I mean, he's still tight end 4 on this team with Hawkinson. So, overall, it's less than ideal. It is certainly less than ideal, but, at least Kwesi has improved over the last 2 drafts in 2023 as well as 2024. Plus, the Vikings have gotten so good. That's not the slide. The Vikings have gotten so good at UDFAs. Maybe Kwesi just like F them picks. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they trade a bunch of the mid-round picks next year. Who knows? But I don't know. Obviously, did Kwesi want this draft class not to work out? No. Do things like this happen? Yes, absolutely all the time. But is this a full-on Kwesi role? Right. And also, let's not act like Spielman was completely batting 1,000. Like, I need to go through our folders because there's so many random memes built up over the years that I have no context for. But it's so funny. Like, people hated on Spielman when he was here, but now that Kwesi's in charge, it's just like, oh, remember the good old days? Right. Yeah. You mean like the 2016 draft? Hey, Treadwell at 23, because Teddy needs a tall receiver. Because 2016, remember, Thielen hadn't become Thielen yet, and Diggs hadn't become Stephon Diggs yet, heading into year 2. So, I mean, Treadwell, another guy whose career was derailed by injury. He had that really terrible fractured fibula at Ole Miss his second to last season in Oxford. Mac Alexander was for a while. Willie Beavers may be one of the worst draft picks in team history. Cantrell Brothers was an okay backup off-ball linebacker and special teamer. Moritz Bittinger, where I swear to Christ, like the compensation the team better have gotten, because Mobo was not going to be drafted, but the Vikings did the league as solid as like, oh hey, he plays for the Schwäbisch Unicorns and his favorite player is Randy Moss, yeah, and he's wearing a Vikings hat. Oh, wouldn't it be so great for marketing if they drafted Moritz Bittinger? And then the Vikings just burned a 6th-round pick on it, and also, so they did that, except they did not make Mobo available to the media. So this whole thing about like, hey, this is a pick for marketing. Like, he was the International Pathway Program player before the IPP, yeah, you know me, was installed. But then he didn't even talk to the media. I don't know. David Morgan. I like David Morgan, man. UTSA, Roadrunners, baby. He was a great blocking tight end. And if he didn't have that knee injury, like, he could have been good to go. It's unfortunate. Weatherly was a fine backup edge rusher for 2 stints. J-Ron Curse became a special teams captain and then bounced. Now has had some success with the Cowboys, but I mean, 2016 was not good. Even going back further, even back before Spielman, 2005. So number one, you traded Randy Moss. Sure, he was unhappy, but whatever. And then you take Troy Williamson, who could not catch, but he was fast. Basically, Troy Williamson was like Diamond Dan Chisena, except for Chisena couldn't tackle and Williamson couldn't catch. And also, I remember that it took him to Nike to get his like rods and cones looked at. That's what she said. But like the orange and the green, like he was wearing goggles and stuff, he just literally could not catch. I don't know, man. Erasmus James, never trust a Badger. Marcus Johnson, okay. Dustin Fox. I mean, before the Eagles drafted Cooper DeJean, the Vikings were the last team to draft a white cornerback, Dustin Fox. But then really made a name for himself in Ohio Sports Talk Radio, taking a breakdown, dealing with some stuff, wishing the best to Dustin Fox. Pride of Ohio State. Seatric Faison, C.J. Mosley. There's been like 3 C.J. Mosleys in the NFL over the last couple of years, a defensive tackle and a linebacker. We did not get the good one. And then Adrian Moore. How bad do you have to be? You don't even have a PFR page. I don't know, man. I don't know. But obviously, this was not ideal. You can certainly use this as a brick to hurl at Kwesi. I mean, deservedly so. It certainly would be nice to have third-year players really contributing to the team. But I guess all is not lost, especially if Ty Chandler, Jalen Naylor, and Nick Muse start showing up and showing out, especially Naylor. And maybe Evans can get it together. We'll see. But I'm really not holding out on Ed Ingram. But also, I want this to be like, hey, remember when you said Ed Ingram couldn't play and then he turned into John Hanna? Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. A retrospective, looking back at the 2022 Vikings draft class, year 3. Come on, man. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.